The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
For all Android and iPhone users, make sure to download the Stitcher application. I use it on the time the David Pakman Show is on there. And when you use promo code DAVID, you're actually helping to support the show. Not to mention you get entered automatically to win $100, which really is pretty good. The chances to win money by listening to this show, Lewis, are pretty few and far between. So my recommendation to people is to actually take advantage of this one, don't you think?
My recommendation is to listen to Dave's recommendation.
You can also go to Stitcher.com/David Pakman Show. Just remember, anytime you get the opportunity, the promo code is David. I guess I don't have to spell that. That seems pretty self-explanatory. Hey, you know what I was thinking about, Lewis, the other day, and my dad actually brought this up to me also, is the whole dynamic of this enhanced interrogation technique language that now has just become part of the conversation. It wasn't always this way. In other words, my dad, the way he brought it up was he started talking to me about Wolf Blitzer, and he said, I was watching the other day, and Wolf Blitzer just referred to waterboarding and some of the other techniques as enhanced interrogation. And my dad, obviously being very, very progressive, said, by definition, isn't that just a lie? I mean, why isn't he calling it torture? Why? Because it's not without controversy that the term enhanced interrogation is being used, and it's not a term that has always existed. In other words, it's a term that has been created with the specific goal of avoiding the word torture.
Right.
So I kind of thought about it a little bit, and my reaction was, well, what else could he say? In other words, he can't say torture because, again, that's not, even though maybe personally I or you might think that that's what it is, or my dad might think that it is torture, that's not really legally the case. In other words, there is a lot of dispute around this. So I understand just saying enhanced interrogation is also not completely without bias. It's just more acceptable in corporate media.
Right.
So what about saying so-called enhanced interrogation techniques? But again, is that really the unbiased way of describing these techniques that are the subject of much controversy? Some would argue no, that using so-called is bias. In fact, Fox News specifically decided to put so-called in front of discussions about healthcare and public options to cast doubt where they wanted or to push the discussion in a certain direction. So we know that the so-called strategy is a common Fox News strategy. Additionally, what about the term newly coined enhanced interrogation techniques? The newly coined term enhanced interrogation techniques.
But just by using the term enhanced interrogation techniques, that's where the
you're
problem
buying
is.
into that there
That's
is
where the
not
problem
torture.
is.
I don't know. What do you think on this, Natan? So-called, newly coined, is there really any way on a term that is at the subject of controversy to get a phrasing that people will even agree upon that will not be considered pushing in one direction?
I mean, what I think makes the most sense is to just drag out the term so people, at least for a split second during the news broadcast, they have a chance to think about it, that it actually is an issue how you call it. So, I mean, Wolf Blitzer could have said, for example, what some call enhanced interrogation techniques and others call torture, or just say waterboarding, which is like the actual action in question, one of the two. But if you say the first thing I mentioned, I think that's good because it makes it obvious that it's a controversy.
Yeah. You want to make light of the bias.
Right.
I don't think anybody... Here's the thing. I would find that to be... I personally think that a lot of these techniques are even if not legally torture, not techniques that the U.S. should be using and even that are beneficial. Okay, that's my opinion. I could see being okay with that, saying techniques which some call enhanced interrogation and some call torture. I would be okay with that, even though I don't buy into enhanced interrogation. But you know that very, very few pro-torture conservatives are going to allow that and say that is Wolf Blitzer being fair and unbiased. There is no way at all.
No, he can't get away with saying that. We can.
So then the question becomes, is this less about the exact accuracy and precision of the term Wolf uses as opposed to what can the corporate media do without being thrown under the bus by the conservative spin machine?
So they're just playing it safe.
It would make sense to me. It would make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is like part of the success of the Republicans. They create this term. People start using this term, even people who don't necessarily agree with their position, like, say, Wolf Blitzer. And then what happens is
Now, if you
this
say
becomes the standard term.
Yeah.
And then from there,
If you
they'll
say
create-
torture, it means you've got an agenda.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then later they can create an even milder term than enhanced interrogation technique. I mean, if anyone sees a waterboarding going on, I don't think anyone's going to call it an interrogation technique. And yet they call it that. But now later on they can create another term that sounds even milder, and then the liberals will use enhanced interrogation. Like that's the leftist term, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what will be the next step? Flower planting while being talked to. That would be the next. We would lighten it up even more, right? I mean, I don't even know. Fun with friends and talking about
removing enhanced.
Yeah,
And just having it fall in the category of interrogation techniques.
and removing it from controversy. I don't know. What were you going to add?
No, nothing. I mean, they could probably convince people to call it, drinking and talking.
Right.
And like eventually, I'm sure Fox News would adopt it. Because the term enhanced interrogation techniques has nothing to do with waterboarding.
No, it has nothing. It has nothing to do with enhancing anything either, as we know.
Right.